Ladies, I'm sure you were surprised that I'm going to talk about youth and the fantastic topic that you heard about. After Claire's presentation, at 16, she's employing a lot of people. She knows exactly what to say about her business, and I think the potential for it to grow into the future is enormous. And here I come after her to tell all of you that I was actually surprised I've got to speak. I've spent more time trying to write a speech, and then Claire comes and stands here like I usually like to do it and then talk to you about it. And actually my topic today, because of our theme about how to make South Africa a winning nation going forward, was to try to extent possible to share with you what I believe was the best example with the 2010 Soccer World Cup, to find what shook me, which is for me a new lesson in leadership. The lesson that when people feel good about themselves, they almost go on to autopilot. And because they feel so good, and I'm sure women will understand that, the result and the impact of the things they do are more positive. Hence, I believe that one of the recipes in leadership, even for our country going forward, is to inspire people to feel good about themselves. Because when they do, it's amazing, and the World Cup will show you. They literally go into autopilot. They're not waiting for you to tell them to buy a T-shirt. They're not waiting for you to tell them to buy a soccer ball or to put a flag. Automatically it sets on fire. For those of you who have read a little bit from the tipping point, at a point in time, it just takes on. And they are driven on autopilot to deliver the positive things that the World Cup became about, because they felt very, very good. So please allow me to try as quickly as I can to take you through these reflections. Because I also reflected for the week and I said, how ironic. What did we see this week? We saw a lot of red T-shirts marching in unison for wages to increase in education, in health, and in the various sectors of our society. We even saw marches that were happening against in demonstration for wages to increase at whatever level, from the automotive sector, from the car makers. And we are also seeing at the same time debates around freedom of speech, literally on the eve of a fantastic experience of the Soccer World Cup. The question is, how could a nation move so much from excitement and overflow of great energy to a sliding down of negative energy that says, I'm not being heard, I'm not being listened to, and I'm not feeling good? The same person who felt good yesterday and automatically put a T-shirt that said, this is the South African flag, this is my country. The following day, we are wearing flags and T-shirts that say we are very unhappy. It made me wonder, what will happen to all of us if maybe we thought about that one woman, and it's because my mother and my father were teachers. Just think about if among them, that great teacher who still went to work because she believed in teaching our children, because she believes that maybe at 16 they'll be having a vision that the things they learned at home could make a difference in our lives. Think about that one teacher. Who is the best teacher? The one teacher you and I can believe to teach our kids, or the one nurse, or the one policeman, or the one doctor that you know without them, your own family is in jeopardy. If you thought about maybe the 10 rand they are asking for, because I'm pushing for a different type of dialogue and changing the way we create partnerships, because we can't keep doing the same things the same way and expect different results. Imagine if the 2 billion rand that it would cost us as a nation could buy us the best teachers, the best outcome for our children, the best nurses with the best outcome of health from every hospital, the best doctor, the best policeman. It simply says we will be a nation that will seek a different dialogue with the same people to arrive at an outcome where maybe the 2 billion we pay today is the best 2 billion we could ever pay for an outcome that will overflow for our children and our generations into the future. That is the context within which I wrote this. To say that the events of the last week, I couldn't help but match with the energy of the Soccer World Cup to say, how could we not capture that great energy? How could we not see that maybe with each little strife and complaint is a call to not only engage the same way, but to find new tools to engage? Because maybe when we do, the amount of billions we pay could generate for us the best investment ever. That in the whole budget that the Treasury gives, the best 2 billion ever spent was to give to the best teachers, the best nurses, the best doctors, the best policemen and women that will anchor this society into the future. That is the appeal. In the wisdom of the crowds to scare you, I know that most of you have read it. If not, please read it. It scared me when it said, under the right circumstances, groups are remarkably intelligent and are often smarter than the smartest person among them. So you try and imagine finding the smartest person in that crowd that is marching negatively. And hopefully it will be a dedicated woman who wants to teach and who wants to give health to our children, but only ask us to recognize her, to make her feel good for what he does, and to reward her for the excellent effort in investing in our children. If that was the best intelligent person in the crowd, maybe the 2 billion is worth it. In the tipping point, as I said earlier, you know the story. He says that sometimes in leadership, we should think about the phenomenon of change, and sudden change especially, such as the enormous energy in the World Cup. We must think about them like we think about the spread of viruses and how they become sticky and how they become quite potent and how they can spread. And in that book, I think we can start thinking about how small little ideas that women have always shown that we can change the world with them. As long as, because we talk so much, we feel good about that idea, we talk about that idea, it sticks in our heads, believe me, it will go around like the technology we saw this morning on seeds. The World Cup for all of us in South Africa, although some of us might have come in screaming and kicking in it, it had a value for a marketing opportunity, visas building toilets and building homes. But as you well know, the positive outcome of it is the ability to have these massive numbers of people wanting to come to our country. But I want you to know this thing and never forget it. Were it not for the tight, audacious, difficult hymn sheet of FIFA, which forced South Africans, who could normally not organize on one sheet, what we knew was that to fail was too costly for the country because the world was watching me. So the penalty for failure was so